What's up, Fothermuckers? Well, Butters, you know what? I'm gonna get to you in a second because there's quite a lot of things I have to explain to my audience as to what exactly I'm doing this video for. So you know what? It's not what I'm doing this video, it's whom I'm doing this video for, and I'm going to get to explaining that literally right now. So first of all, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Rage video, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we've got something very, very different I want to sort of talk about, because first of all, I'm gonna get this, just put this right away now. You see this guy here, Butters? I'm not gonna give out his full name because I think that's just been a bit mean. But what the first thing you need to know about Butters, ladies and gentlemen, is that he and we went to the same school together. We didn't really hang out, we didn't really talk that much when we were in school, to be honest. He had his own clique he was involved in. I sort of had mine. We were sort of in very separate classes and that sort of thing. So there's actually very little in the 5+ years I think we were at school and that. I think he went on to college or something like that, and I stayed on for sixth form and then moved to uni and stuff like that. But Butters right here, I generally, because listen, I got a DM a few days ago asking me to add him as a friend on Facebook, and so I accepted because, you know, fair enough. You would not believe how rare it is for people to actually, message me nowadays first. It's a bit of a rarity around here. So I just, out of curiosity, I went onto his page and I looked up the fact that he did rapping apparently, and even though this came out 2 years ago and I have no idea whether or not Butters still wants to do this now, I'll probably send him a DM later on tonight and asking whether or not he really wants to be doing this. Maybe that might have something to do with exactly what we have in store, because he said on the about section for this channel, which I think does belong to him, is that if he wants help and support, then you know what, I'd be more than willing to actually go out of my way just to help him out. Not just because he's from the northeast like me, not just because we went to the same school together, not just because I might end up liking his material. Now that is really sort of that's the big thing I want to put out right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all well and good for any new boy on the street to come about and show us and, flash exactly what they have in store. It is another thing entirely to actually sit down and see what we've got to work with. Imagine I'm Simon Cowell right now, and Butters, I know fine well you're listening to this, so you may want to pay attention, son, because if you're really thinking about doing this full time, you got to make sure you've got to go in with a plan. You got to know exactly what you're doing. I went into doing this entire channel. It was on a plan. You don't just rush in head first. You don't dive into a pool head first, for example, because it might be shallow and you might have crashed your skull, broken your neck on the floor. You just simply don't do that sort of thing. So, you know what? I'm actually going to check this out. 776 views from 2 years ago. Considering this is the first video on his channel, the one of two, I should say. But let's just see exactly what it is we got to work with. I don't know whether or not Butters is going to do freestyling. I don't know whether or not he's planned this out, or whether or not he's just doing this on the fly. Though I must say, to be honest, he looks quite different from when I remembered him in school, because he used to have a full head of blonde hair, and he's gone, I don't know if it's just the lighting here, but he looks kind of a little bit darker than I think. He kind of even looks like he hasn't really... He looks like he's slightly skinnier than when I last remembered him. Because the last time I think when I saw him, I think it was about May 2014. So nearly 7 years ago. Well, let's just see. Let's see what we've got. I'm willing to give him a shot. Just because, you know what, I feel like that would be the good thing to do. But let's see what's what, Butters. Let's see what you got. So, if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, if you want to check out Butters for yourself, please make sure to visit his channel as well. You know what? If I have my way about this, and if Butters is really this serious, then there might be something we want to do. Well, it's all for the underdog, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably the only reason why you're watching this channel as well, isn't it? Not out of desperation, or hopefully not out of pity. So, up and down in 3, 2, 1, and. Come on. Okay, yeah, first of all, yeah, you can tell it's obviously a bit rough around the edges. I'm gonna have to, like, turn this up. I need to go up and down. It kind of sounds... I'm not actually, I'll tell you what, I won't give any critique yet. Let's just see, let's try this again. I'll put that down to my fault for not turning it up.
Actually fucking dead. These are my conscious thoughts, my conscious memories. These are things no one ever sees, and I'm glad, so glad, cause lately my thoughts have been that bad. As I'm getting older, my heart's turning colder. I wish my life was fucking over. I've got this weight on my shoulder, I can really feel this boulder, and I don't know what to do. I'm study hopeless with no clue. I'm losing all my fucking crew. One by one they're dropping now, starting families, making new friends, following all the new trends, becoming sheep inside the system, praying to God that they would listen. Fuck government pollution, it's time for the English revolution. But who's gonna start this radical movement? We really need improvement. That's why I'm here, so you can hear. Just get your boys and get them near. They've got you hypnotized, but you'll never realize, cause they're covering up your third eye. Not gonna stop till your brain is fried. Life is hard, so some people spit these bars. Some people spitting bars all day and night, even though it's not right, but it's all they've got. Never gonna make it to the top, never gonna stop drinking. All they're doing is thinking that they got shit lives. Never gonna have kids, never gonna have wives. How we going to survive this day and age? Trapped in a cage, about to burst with rage. It's our souls that will need saved. It's our souls that will need saved. It's my soul that will need saved. Are you brave enough to dig inside my mind? Are you brave enough to see what you could really find? And I won't blame you if you don't dig and dig deeper, because there's something in there I don't want to see either. Can't help it, I'm an angry man. Gotta let it loose when I fucking can to my dickhead. I'm sorry, don't really want to be. It's just I swear down there is something that lives inside of me. I swear down I can really feel it. There is something in me, cause every day is getting more and more fucking hazy. That's why I'm study shouting, someone please just save me. I know I'm fucking up, I know I'm losing it. I just wanna get a car and fucking cruise it across the country, drive so far, get somewhere and spit my bars. I just want to own a nice house, chill with a girl that can call my world. I'll tell her that I love her and I'll never find another. We'll have a little girl and she will have a baby brother. But I might be wrong, cause every woman that I've been was twisted. Every woman that I've been with made me feel like a misfit. Now when it comes to women, I really do feel cursed, and I don't think it's gonna change until I'm lying in that hearse. So I've been up, I've been down, homeless round Newcastle town. Now I walk around with a crown, cause in my head I'm fucking king. Going to win, going to survive. In this life you've gotta be wide, gotta be wise, gotta realise that it's all about you. Fuck your crew, do how you do, when you want to, why you want to, how you want to, do who you want to, do it to, just cause you fucking can. In your head you are your own fan, in your head you are the big man. Just to keep yourself alive, you try and keep things on a happy vibe. I'd hope I'd always make it, but I know I never will. So I sit back on my sofa and I pop another pill, pop another pill. I sit back on my sofa and I pop another pill. But as shout out to the boys, make some fucking noise.
Get up! Yeah, boy.
Right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Being Up and Down by Butters, I guess we could say. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys my honest-to-God impression, because, listen, if any of you have been watching around this, and again, I know fine well Butters will probably be watching this by now, so I think it's more for him to hear what I've got to say, just so we have some understanding here, because I feel like it would be, without wanting to go too far into this, I think the best thing I could do is what I've sort of always done for this channel, is be as honest, as open, just about did everything I could to get my point across. Because there are some things I say that I don't particularly think everyone is going to like to hear. There are many things that I've said that even I'm not particularly proud of. But you know what? Some things just straight up gotta be said. And I think it's sort of like a current that if what I heard about Butters is true, that he could have been homeless, because again, this is a thing when you don't hear from somebody for years. You don't know what the hell they've been up to. They've probably been to hell and back. And so I'll have to be very, very cautious, and I have to think about very seriously how I want to talk to Butters about that. Just in case if it's not true, then, you know, I just wanted to get some info, I suppose, is the thing to say. So, honest to God, ladies and gentlemen, you want to know my opinion about Up and Down? You could certainly tell Butters has put a lot of thought into this. You can tell he's obviously worked out in his mind exactly what's troubling him. Mainly about being down and out. This isn't being about up and down issue. This is being down and out. And he's got something he wants to say. He wants to say, you know what, we're going to start with the revolution, but who's going to step forward? I like that part. That's one of my favorite parts about this, is that you want to step up, you want to be accounted for. Well, you know what? Who is going to be the savior of the young and the broken, the beaten and the damned? And I think it is very, very admirable for people to be the ones to step forward. The problem, of course, with that, ladies and gentlemen, is that it requires people to be very, very brave. And not everybody born is brave. You know, not some animals are more equal than others. Some people are just straight up braver and more vivacious than others. And I'll be honest, I'll be damned, ladies and gentlemen, because I think one of the few classes that me and Butters did share when we were in secondary school was, I think it was like an English literature class, or maybe it was a math class. And that what I just heard in the last 4 minutes might have just been one of the most profound things I think Butters has possibly said in his entire life. He's laying it all out for the world to see. You think it's easy, ladies and gentlemen, to talk in front of a camera to an imaginary audience. Because in my mind, nobody is ever going to watch this video. Nobody in their right mind would be willing enough to see somebody who they've never heard of before. Somebody who may have a style, they may have certain things on their mind that people aren't particularly that interested in. You want to know why I'm interested in, ladies and gentlemen? Not just for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but because, you know what? Butters, if he really wanted to, he could take over just like that. He could be doing duets with Stormzy. He could be doing like signing record labels with, I don't know, like Eminem. He could be rubbing side by side with Ice Cube and Dre. I did an Ice Cube song last night, and when you really think about it, you want to talk about being expressive. You want to talking about how shitty things can get. Go and listen to Straight Outta Compton. Go watch the movie. Go listen to just about anything you've ever heard Ice Cube ever do. Because you know what, Butters, I'll get to your second song straight after this. But let me tell you something right now. One of my favorite Cube songs is called Jack in the Box, because among other things, it starts off with a narration by Keith David, the West Coast warlord, the Grand Wizard, Ice Cube. Motherfucker hit so big they called him Jack in the Box. That was the story of where Ice Cube was. And even back in, 2007, he was in a much different place than when he was back in 1997, or even 1987 for that matter. And I can tell. I know how that some things can get really, really bad very, very quickly, where you're on the brink of absolute despair. Well, let me tell you something right now, and it's one of the joys, one of the secret beauties of getting older, is that you soon learn to realize that you go down, you can come back up just as easily. It's imagine like, I don't know, 10 years down the line, Butters, somebody is probably making a video about you right now. I could have been doing it, maybe somebody else will, and they'll probably call it The Rise and Fall and the Rise Again of Butters. It could easily, that could easily happen. And again, you know what? If you learn from your mistakes, you do what you got to do, and you could be a shoo-in. Absolutely, people will buy that because it's the underdog story. Somebody they've never heard of before, and all of a sudden he is screeching bars at the top of his voice, and it's stuff that matters, stuff people that need to hear. Tough love, they call it. They call it Butters. That's what they call it. They call it tough love. And you know what? Because listen, many people could straight up. I could say more often than not that, you know what? I was basically in the same position. Nobody knew who I was till I decided to do this. And Butters, I know you probably have friends who know me a little bit better than you do. They could probably testify that they would never expect me to do something like this. And to be honest, Butters, I never necessarily expected anyone from school, to be honest, to be trying to attempt rap. With possibly the exception of a few people here and there. But, you know what? I'm going to get to your second song straight after this. But all I'm going to say is that, you know what? You keep this up, Butters, then, well, I think I'll message you. We'll go over the details, perhaps. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this reaction video to Up and Down by Butters. I hope this was at least something different, something a bit informative, just something that I wanted to try out. And just to show you guys, if you've never heard of Butters before this, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, bye-bye for now.